Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is one of the best amateur bantamweight fighters in the world, Hayden Briers. Hello, Hayden. How are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Hayden, you just defended the Male Combat Championship bantamweight title. It was another finish. So, if you can tell me, how do you feel after this bout?
Yeah, so that one, so I fought for the 45 belt for the featherweight title. So technically it was a defense because it was supposed to be at bantamweight, but the dude weighed in at like 142 and I hadn't made 35 yet. I had like 2 more pounds to cut. So when I found out he weighed that much, I literally just stopped cutting and just started drinking like my Pedialyte stuff. And then I literally went up to the promoter because it's one of my teammates who has the 45 belt. So I said, hey, like we're just gonna do the 45 belt because there's no point for me to keep cutting. So basically, it was a defense, but I guess technically it's the featherweight belt.
And did you think that because of he didn't cut the weight to the bantamweight that he can like present some problems for you?
I thought he'd be a little bigger. He's probably like 160 in the cage or something. He didn't feel like overly strong, but he didn't have to suffer through that weight cut. Like I went into the fight with like a normal weight cut issues like stomach aches and bloating and just kind of all the stuff that happened. So he probably had literally none of that.
And it was another finish. You actually had have three knockouts and three submissions, and all of the submissions are guillotine. So what is the special about your guillotine that you can finish everybody?
Yeah, I really don't know. It's crazy because in training, like I don't hit it that often. Just I guess everyone's kind of used to it, used to me hitting it. But man, really nothing. I got a lot of subs. I feel like I got a really good game on the ground. I just haven't been able to show it. Um, but when you're that slippery and you have guys trying to wrestle you, which the 3 guys that I choked out with the guillotine were wrestlers, it's just one of them chokes that those wrestlers tend to fall into a little more often.
And it was probably one of your biggest win, the Micah White, the very good fighter. It was earlier in your career. He's
Yeah,
also like top level prospect, and you finished him by beautiful guillotine.
yeah, and I had no grappling at the time. I mean, I had some very very basic grappling, but I literally like I think after that fight I got my blue belt, so that kind of shows where I was.
And in your last fight, that in the Fury, the fight that you lost, it was against Dylan Aguilar. It was a split decision win for him. So when you heard the 39-36, how surprised were you that he won the fight?
Oh, bro, I mean, I was just pissed off because like I know I in my head I didn't lose. You know what I mean? I didn't do a lot of damage or anything. So what happened was by like I want to say the second or third round, I honestly just kind of blew my arms out. Like I couldn't even make a fist in those gloves, and maybe it was the wraps or it was from the wrestling, but something I just couldn't make a fist to strike. So I literally just kind of went in that survival mode of like I just got to try to win the fight, and I still think I did enough to win the fight because if we're talking about damage, like he didn't do any damage to me either. Like I literally went and trained the next day. So, but it's an amateur fight. It's not like anything changed from it. So I'm not too butthurt about it.
Yes, but when I heard like that is a 4-1 to one
Yeah,
fighter, I was like sure that you won the fight.
yeah. 4-1 was crazy. I think his family is cool with that judge that scored it like that. Just my bad. Just based off like Facebook because they're all friends with the judge on Facebook. So maybe there had something to do with that, but who knows? There's nothing I can do about it.
And as the amateur, you won and defended a few titles. It of course was a Fury FC before the bantamweight and flyweight title. And do you like the distance, like 5 3-minute rounds distance?
Yeah, so I've been fighting for titles since after my first ever amateur fight. And it's just one of those things, I guess. Like, so when I fought Micah White, I was like 100% put in there to lose against him because I don't have any wrestling background or grappling background. So I'm sure they thought it was just going to be an easy fight for him. And I ended up winning the belt, and then I actually turned out to be pretty good, and kind of just been fighting for titles ever since that.
And according to Topology, you are one of the best bantamweights in US, number one in Texas, number one in US Southwest, and overall like a great fighter. So the question is, what should be next for you? What's your plan for like next step in your career?
So my next fight's like 100% pro. I guess we're just trying to figure out where we're gonna fight at. I could go fight for Fury. I kind of have a weird thing. Like, so I have a lot of fights for Fury, but honestly, like, it's kind of weird fighting at home. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of weird to wake up in your bed that you wake up every day in, where you're comfortable, and then be like, okay, I got to get in a fist fight starting at like 1:30. Like, it's just kind of a weird feeling, you know? So, fighting out of town, my last two fights were in Austin, and then like staying in a hotel, doing all that kind of stuff. I honestly really liked because it gets you in that mode, like know harder because you're out of town and all that stuff, but it's not too big of a deal. So but Fury, or there's that CFFC, or I'd like to fight for that LFA promotion, or Melee. Melee has some more events, but I don't know, man. There's just a lot of places I can go and fight, I guess.
And you are, of course, in a very good position because of your titles, because of your wins. So I think that many good
Yeah.
promotions will like contact you about your pro debut.
Yeah, and really, it just comes down to what would you call it? I guess the option. So the problem with that Melee promotion is they're very big. They have a big following, but they don't have a like Fury has events like 2 to 3 times a month. So I have a lot of options. So I can say, hey, if I want to fight in 3 months, like there's for sure going to be a date that I can fight. With a promotion like Melee, like they don't have that many events yet, so I'm kind of just waiting for them. You know what I mean? So that's all we're trying to figure out. I'm taking like a good couple weeks off. I just had a tooth pulled, so I have to kind of like up, and then we'll kind of look more into, I guess, where we're gonna go.
But the plan overall is to your pro debut to be in the bantamweight division, right?
Yeah, 100%. I'll be a bantamweight, and yeah, so that'll be fun.
And about your beginnings in the sport, like, do you have any previous experience in any other combat sport, or the MMA was the first sport that you ever train?
I did karate in like kindergarten, but I don't think that counts. Other than that, no. I didn't get into MMA till I was probably like 18 years old or whatever, like just starting to graduate. I started going to one of my teammates' gym actually. So his name's Omar Halal, and he owns a gym called Tiger's Den, and it's like a workout gym slash MMA gym, and then they have like a karate studio. So I kind of just went there, and it's funny because we're teammates now. You know, we train on the same team. But I went there. I went to a couple other little small gyms, just kind of hopping around, and then the team I'm with now, I found when I was about 19 or something like that. So I've just been training with them ever since.
And what is the team name?
Texas Striking Academy. So the guy who runs it, or my coach, not the guy, Joel Rivera, and then I guess one of our he I wouldn't even call him a coach. He's one of the fighters, but Josh Altum. They're the two that I kind of like came up with, I guess.
And do you have any like very good like you the prospects the young fighters like 20 or like 19 years old that you see the potential in them that they can be top fighters in next few years?
Yeah, we have a couple guys. We have a kid named Ivan who just made his debut. Um, he's young. He just turned 19 probably, you know what I mean? But he wrestled in high school, and he's getting pretty good pretty fast. Jonathan Kinski, he's the guy who had the 45 belt for Melee. Um, he's pretty good. He's living in Dallas now, so I think he's training out of Fortis MMA. So he's over there with a good team right now. But man, like I would say those two, just because I'm real close with them, real cool with them.
And when you started your like MMA training, when do you thought that it can be a good idea to become a MMA fighter?
I think I had a total of like when you train for so long, like, you want to like compete, like you want to see where you're at. So I think I had like 5 smokers overall, which I don't know if you know what those are, or what y'all call them. But they're basically just kind of like sparring matches with the crowd or fights. Um, so I had like 5 of those, and then I ended up making my debut at, I want to say I was like 20 or something. So like 2.5 years in, and then I have like 10 fights, 10 amateur fights, or one's a Muay Thai fight. But I have like 15 fights now, I guess, if you count the smokers.
And about the Muay Thai bout, how do you like it?
I like Muay Thai. I don't like the standing in front of each other and trading kicks is kind of not the smartest. I feel like I like to move. I like footwork. I like I don't know. I'm more of like I like the boxing in it. You know what I mean? If you go watch my Muay Thai fight, I'm more boxing than anything. Just I feel like that's what you do against guys who kick a lot. So, but I like it. I'm just not a traditional guy, I'd say.
So it was like more of the like one and done, right?
Yeah, no, I would definitely I'd do it again. I'd probably want to do kickboxing though. Kickboxing over Muay Thai. Just because they score it differently, you know what I mean? Because you could box somebody up, but if you don't throw any elbows or kicks, then you may not go your way, which I think is stupid.
And right now, because of course you have a few years experience right now, what is the favorite part of the training? What do you like the most?
Man, I like all of it. So like I'm not a guy who likes to or has like a specialty, I feel like I'm pretty well rounded everywhere, like nothing's better than the other. Everything can get good, you know what I mean? So like I like going to wrestling practice. I like jujitsu. I like the boxing. I like the kickboxing. I just feel like there's really no area where you can't get better at. So I like how it's constantly different, and there's always something to improve.
And actually, we can see this in your fight that you are not a like striker or you are not a grappler, but you are a full MMA fighter. That you like looking for the right move in like correct time, let's say.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's what kind of is probably why I've been successful as an amateur, just because a lot of amateurs aren't very well rounded. They either grew up wrestling, or maybe they have some kickboxing experience. I'd say most amateurs come from some sort of grappling, or at least down here. Um, so like I feel like as a pro, I'll probably get into some better fights because there'll be guys who can do both just as well as I do. So I feel like that'll be a, I guess, my bad. I got a notification and my phone acted weird, but I feel like that'll be a when it starts to get real.
Definitely, especially when you will fight in like let's say a big promotion, which is shown on UFC Fight Pass. It's probably your next opponent will be a very tough, maybe like maybe not super experienced, but either way very tough and very talented guy. So
Yeah, yeah,
probably your level of like skills also will move up when you know that you will face another killer.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, and that's what we've been training for. You know what I mean? And I think that's why I've done decent as an amateur. Just because like I take it very serious. I feel like I like turning pro and being an amateur is really no different to me. You know what I mean? I feel like I've been training like a pro since I first started. Definitely I've gotten better because the more experience, the better you're gonna get and more knowledge you're gonna have. But I just feel like I this is like a dumb sport to not take serious. You know what I mean? Like you got to take it serious. So, and then if you don't want to do it anymore, then or you don't want to train seriously, it's probably not the smartest idea to get into a fight.
Yes, the consequences will be very high.
Yeah, if you're just trying to have fun, I don't think getting kicked in the head or fucking teeth busted out is a great choice.
And right now, when you are thinking about your career in let's say 3 or 4 years, do you see yourself in the UFC in 2007 or 2027 or 2028?
Yeah, I could. I mean, I'm not thinking too far ahead. Of course, you know what I mean. I'm kind of taking it one at a time, but I would like to be. You know what I mean. Uh, I've been watching the PFL recently. I'm like, shit, $1 million tournament to fight guys who aren't as good. I'm like, that sounds like a good deal too. But I don't know. I'm down for whatever. Of course, UFC is the goal or whatever. But like I said, one fight at a time. I think, say I go 5-0, 4-0 as a pro, which could take a year to a year and a half. I think that's when it'll get real, and that's when it will start to. I'll start to see that vision more. You know what I mean? I already see it, but I gotta win the first couple fights before you start thinking too far ahead.
Sometimes there are fighters who, when I'm talking to them, they want to have like 8 or 10 pro bouts before going to the UFC because they want to have this more of the experience that they have
Yeah.
now. And do you have this kind of, let's say, the number that the fights that you would like to have before being signed to a big organization?
Yeah, so I have a pretty high, and like I said, it's amateur, so like I mean, even some of the pros that are regionally aren't that great. Um, but I like total, I have like 15 fights if we're counting the smokers. I've had that fight feel of being nervous, doing all that. And if you look at guys nowadays who are going pro, who are fighting for Fury, or even some like the CFFC I was watching because one of our guys, Karan, was on there just the other day. Like these guys have like 3 or 4 amateur fights and they go pro already. So you got to think, even if we're not counting smoker, I have 10, so I have like 2 to 3 times the amount of experience that these guys have, and they're all 15-minute fights. So I already have a lot of experience in the cage. Besides, throwing elbows and all the little details that aren't too big of a factor, I guess. Um, and if you look at bantamweight, if you go 5, 6-0 and you're putting guys away, that pretty decently, you're usually going to get a shot to the contenders if you got a good management team, which I'm with Iridium. So a lot of their guys get put onto the contenders. So I feel like I have the experience and the cage time. I've been 15 minutes multiple times, and like I said, I think everything will end up coming my way, I guess.
This is probably your big advantage, the 15 minutes fights, because usually there are
Yeah.
9, and then you have a lot of 15 minutes, or at least scheduled to be a 15 minutes. So the experience is on your side in this case.
Yeah, yeah. That and just a lot more fights than a lot of guys. Like I said, you'll see guys who go like 4-0 and they turn pro and you can just tell they aren't ready. You know what I mean? Like I saw that on the Fury card or whatever, there's a lot of guys on there that, probably aren't ready to be, and that's not even shit talking. It's just, if you have 3 or 4 fights and you go pro and then you end up fighting some dude from a different country who, probably has like 15, 20 amateur fights, and wrestled since he was 5, it's probably going to work out in his favor.
And currently your this year is very, very successful. You are 2-0. And how many fights would you like to have in this, like, in the next 6 months?
Um, is the next 6 months like by next year? I don't even know what month it is. So it'll be by the end of the year. Maybe like 2 pro fights, maybe 1 or 2. I want to stay active just because I feel like I don't want to sit on the sidelines or nothing. Once my tooth is fully healed, like I said, I can't really spar hard or nothing right now. I've just been doing a lot of drills. Um, I'd like to probably get 2 in, probably 2 fights.
It is also, I think, that a very good thing that younger fighter want to be active, because sometimes, especially when they have more experience, they want to fight sometimes the 1 or 2 time a year. And right now, in my opinion, you are in this like time that you can be active. You can use the time that you have and then take the many fights. Of course, when you are not injured.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm healthy. After every fight, I've actually been healthy too. You know what I mean? Um, so like if I'm healthy and I don't really do nothing else, I just train all the time. So might as well do it and be smart about it too. Of course, um, I still have a lot of my bad. My neighbors out there screaming. I still have a lot of areas to grow and get better in. So obviously, you don't want to rush too fast, but I still want to stay active and compete.
And do you have a like favorite fighter to watch, either from the UFC or any other promotion?
I like watching Corey Sandhagen a lot. he's a real fun guy to watch. I like O'Malley. Um, that honestly, they're just guys who are kind of built like me. Um, there's one girl who just fought for the PFL. She's the 125 champ. I literally just watched her. I like her style. Um, man, who else? I like Max Holloway. A lot of the people I like watching are kind of similar, I guess, built to me for their weight class. So just you just pick up little tips from them or tricks, and I like to try to apply them to me, I guess.
And right now, Sean O'Malley is scheduled, I believe, scheduled to fight Merab. But if the fight Sean against Corey Sandhagen would happen, who do you think would win this fight?
Man, I think that fight should already happen. That's one fight I think that'd be really good. Um, I've actually got to train over at the gym where Corey trains out of, and I really really like it. I've been over there 2 times. Everyone's super nice, and it's a really high level gym. Um, I I think it would be O'Malley's toughest test, just because Corey's a good striker. Um, I feel like Sean's a guy who can, bounce around and plant really good and throw good hard shots. And I know Corey, I guess he's working with Trevor Whitman now, so he's working on some stuff too. So he may look completely different in his next coming fight. But man, I don't know. That would be a really tough one because I like both of them, and I think they're both really good.
Yes, but this fight, I believe that needs to happen, and especially for the title, because they are on the such a high level for many years, to be honest. So I hope that it will
Yeah,
finally will happen.
yeah. I think O'Malley's fighting Marab, so I honestly I think he wins that fight. And then I know Sandhagen's fighting Umar. So I think as long as they both win, I think they'll end up fighting next. But it'll probably be a while because Sean doesn't fight super often. I feel like, um, so it'll probably be a while. But as long as they both win, it probably happens.
When you're thinking about your career, even your accomplishments, uh, in your opinion, what is the best thing about being a MMA fighter?
Uh, that's a tough one, man. I don't know. I just like it. It's something I like to do. I don't think it. I think everyone likes to train. But like being I guess fighting and doing weight cuts and all that stuff, it's really difficult. Um, but I like it, man. It gives me something to do so I don't go get in trouble or go do anything else that's stupid. And I don't know. I just think in the future, as long as everything turns out really good, like it's a cool way to I guess make money and have as a career. But I don't know, man. I enjoy training and like I eat clean, I eat how I'm supposed to. I don't know, I just enjoy the lifestyle, I guess, and how it makes you feel.
I think this is very important, and sometimes the fighters' answer is just that they don't want to the 9 to 5 job, the life of this kind of life.
Yeah, that's true too. I don't think I'd want to work a 9 to 5. Um, yeah, I guess that's it. I don't want to do something. I always say like I'd rather try and see how this turns out than just give up. You know what I mean? Because you only live one time, so you might as well try. And if it works out, then fucking great. But if it don't work out, I mean, fuck. At least you can say you tried. Or what did Max Holloway say that one time? He said, "If you give up, you're a certified loser," or whatever, however he says it.
Yes, he got some very good quotes.
Yeah. I think that one he was a kid when he said that, but yeah, it's kind of the same thing. You might as well try it.
And when you are a few hours before the fight, and you know that you will face another very good fighter, uh, do you have any like stress or nerves that you feel?
Yeah, all the time. And I feel like it's not necessarily anyone I'm fighting. I feel like it's just me and the pressure I can put on myself. Yeah, I say like my last fight, we went in 8, uh, like an hour before we had to be at the venue, and I was sitting there and I was just like, ugh, like just kind of stressed out. You know what I mean? Just because like I want to make sure I perform to my best of the best of my ability because you train for months or you train year round, train super hard, and if you go out there and then your performance isn't that great, it's like fuck, like I just did all this for no reason. But fighting, that's the chance you take, and that's what we sign up to do. So you kind of just have to be okay with it, I guess. But yeah, there's always nerves, and if someone says they don't have nerves, they're fucking lying. There's no way you don't have nerves, but like I said, it's who can deal with them better. John Jones even said it. He's like, Josh Altum, my training partner, was telling me about it. John Jones, he's like, everyone has those butterflies, but he puts those butterflies in motion or some shit like that. But I think that's very true. It's just how you I guess deal with the nerves because you're always gonna have them.
And after your fight, when even right now, when you have a little bit more of the free time, what do you like to do then? Do you have any like additional hobbies or passions except MMA?
Uh, Honestly, I train basically twice a day, every day. Recently, like I said, I got my tooth pulled, so I had to take a couple days off. Um, but man, I usually train. I just like training. But outside of fighting, like I used to skateboard when I was a kid, so I'll probably pick that up, fuck around over here at my house or something. We can go fishing or I don't know, just little stuff. Nothing I'm really like super into because I just rather go train. But I got little hobbies I like to do, but like I said, most of the time it's just training. Just I feel like training is my hobby. You know what I mean?
And I have one last question. Uh, do you have any like dreams also not like regarding fighting something outside of world of MMA and can you share it?
What was that? My bad. It kind of like broke up.
Do you have any like dreams but outside of MMA that you can share that dreams or plans that you have in next few years to accomplish?
Um, I think I would just like to, I guess, start making money off of doing MMA. I guess kind of just start making it more of a real. I guess. Trying to think the word. My bad. My brain's all messed up right now. Um, make it just more real to myself that I can pay for shit that I have to pay for. I guess with it. Or maybe start a business with it, or just something that brings in money from it, or just stuff to take care of, I guess, your outside life from actually doing it. But, just kind of have a goal like that. Like I said, so my pro debut, like one of my goals for that one is I want to try to make like 5 grand off sponsors. And that's including commission off tickets or like say I sell shirts or what's the other thing? You get paid to actually fight. I'd probably like $1,000 or something if you're lucky. But my goal, like for that, make $1,000 or $5,000, and then maybe the second fight 7,500, and just kind of go up from there and try to make it like just kind of have little goals for myself. Because if I can start to do that, like I think I'll be able to take care of myself pretty fine if I'm staying active.
It's very
But actually, what'd you say?
no, I think that it's a very good goal, and I like encourage everybody who can to sponsor you because of that you are one of the best fighter in the US.
Yeah, I'm trying to be. Not yet, but I'm trying to be. Um, but in fighting, I would say one of my goals, me and Josh Altum were talking about it. It'd be like, how crazy would it be in like the next 3 or 4 years? I'm like standing across from like Peter Yan. Like that would be crazy. You know what I mean? Fucking but that's like a fighting goal, not to specifically fight Peter Yan, but to be like this kid who just randomly walked into their gym they didn't think was actually gonna fight or anything, and then like boom, fucking Peter Yan right there in front of us. Like I think that would be fucking funny.
Yes, and the finish will be a guillotine choke.
Yeah, yeah. Fucking if he shoots, he's probably gonna just try to rip my head off.
Okay, Hayden, so many thanks for the conversation. I hope that you will fight a few times this year, and next year you will still be undefeated after another few bouts.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, man, we'll try to keep that going.